Hello and welcome to R5 Reviews. I'm Owen Hemsley and today I'll be reviewing the game GTA 5. Grand Theft Auto 5 is an action-adventure game played from a third-person perspective. Players complete missions, linear scenarios with set objectives, to progress through the story. Outside of missions, players can freely roam around the world. Composed of the San Andreas open countryside area and the fictional city of Los Santos, the world of Grand Theft Auto 5 is larger in area than earlier entries in the series. The world may be fully explored from the beginning of the game without restrictions, although story progress unlocks more gameplay content. Players use melee attacks, firearms and explosives to fight enemies, and the character may run, jump, swim, or use vehicles to navigate the world. In combat, auto-aim and a cover system can be used as assistance against enemies, and if your character takes damage, their health meter will gradually regenerate to its halfway point. If players commit crimes while playing, law enforcement agencies, so the cops, may respond as indicated by a wanted meter in the head-up display. On the meter, which you'll know if you played any Grand Theft Auto game before, the displayed stars indicate the current wanted level. For example, in this one, it's the maximum of a 5-star level. When you get this, efforts by law enforcement to incapacitate players become very aggressive.
You break the law, I break your face.
The wanted meter enters a cooldown mode and eventually recedes when players are hidden from the officer's line of sight, which is on this game displayed on the minimap. The single player mode lets players control 3 characters. First of all is Michael DeSanta, second one's Trevor Phillips, and the third one's Franklin Clinton. And they are all criminals whose stories interconnect as they complete missions. Some missions are complete with only one character, and others feature 2 or 3. Throughout the single player, players may switch between the main characters at will by means of a directional compass on the heads-up display. The game may switch between characters automatically in single-player missions to complete certain objectives. A character's compass avatar, or face, will flash red if he's in danger, and if they need help. But it will also flash white if he has a strategic advantage, so in other words, if you should change to him. Yeah, this picture here shows the minimap and the directional compass, which I was just on about. Though players complete missions as any of the 3 main characters, the more difficult heist missions require aid from compute-controlled accomplices with unique skill sets, such as computer hacking or driving. If an accomplice survives a successful heist, they take a cut from the cash reward and may be available for later missions if you want them. Each character has a set of 8 skills that represent their ability in certain areas, for example shooting or driving. And although players improve character skills as they play, each character has a skill with expertise by default. For example, the character Trevor, his main skill is flying. The 8th special skill determines the effectiveness in performing an ability that is unique to each respective character. For example, Michael enters bullet time in combat, which is a bit like the game Max Payne if you've played it. It's basically slow motion shooting. Franklin slows down time whilst driving, and Trevor deals twice as much damage to enemies while taking half as much in combat. So in other words, you can just go around killing everything you see. This game is developed in tandem with the single-player mode. The online multiplayer mode, Grand Theft Auto Online, which comes with the game, was conceived as a separate experience to be played in a continually evolving world, so it is constantly updated and changing. Up to 16 players can freely roam across a recreation of the single-player world and enter lobbies to complete jobs if they want to. So the online mode can have its own cooperative modes, competitive modes, loads of different types of matches you can do. There's also a thing called the Content Creator Toolset, which basically lets players create their own jobs or missions, spawn point, spawn points even, and players may band together in organised player teams called crews to complete jobs together. Rockstar Games Social Club extends crews formed in Max Payne 3's multiplayer mode to that of Grand Theft Auto Online. Well, now on to the actual review. Now I've told you a bit about the game. First of all is how good are the controls? Well, at first I found the controls quite unusual.
Like me!
Partly because I'm mainly a PC gamer, and this game so far has only come out on console. I played it on Xbox 360. But I'm mainly talking about the combat / shooting controls. For example, the way you change weapons is through a scroll wheel, which you use with the analog stick, which has been used on a few games since, but I personally hadn't used it before, so it was a bit weird for me. Another point I'd like to make is about the shooting controls, is how the auto lock-on the game works. Instead of like a game either having no lock-on at all or having full lock-on, where you basically have to do nothing, it kind of reaches a halfway point because you still have to like use like an aim mode to aim at your enemies, but like you still need to like look quite near them in order for it to lock on. So in other words, the lock on in this game just helps you like a little bit, so there's still some challenge to it. However, I'm not really complaining about these points because the thing is, even though they were weird at first, once I got used to them, the control system's great, basically, because you can get through gunfights as long as you work out some control tricks, such as how to reload a weapon in split seconds, which I won't tell you how to do, I'll let you work that out yourself. Once you've worked out some tricks, the control system works perfectly, basically, because you can get through gunfights, I wouldn't say easily, because it's quite a difficult game, but you can get through gunfights at a decent pace, because like there's nothing annoying about the controls whatsoever, they all work smoothly. So, but yeah, anyway, besides the shooting sections of the game, the driving controls are very good as well. For any of you who play GTA 4, the driving controls are pretty much the same as GTA 4, but that's no bad thing because I thought the driving controls in GTA 4 were very good. So yeah, that's enough about the controls. Next up is the challenge level. How hard is this game? Well, even though I was previously saying about the controls making the combat very easy to use, this game is not easy. Not in my opinion anyway. I may just be crap at the game, but you know, that's what I think. There is no choice for difficulty level at the start, so you don't have easy, medium or hard. So you have to basically cope with whatever the game throws at you. And even though the shooting controls make it very quick to kill enemies, you can just quickly switch from one to the other. Sometimes there are situations where there are about 10 enemies at the same time, coming from in front and behind you. That sounded dirty. So making use of tactics can sometimes be quite important, like where you take cover, for example. Another feature I liked is the fact that if you fail the same mission several times, you're given the option to skip it. I personally never skipped a mission as I like to play a game to its full potential, but I thought it was a thoughtful feature to have so that less experienced players or younger players can still progress with the story and not get frustrated with it, basically. Next up, how fun is it overall? Well, this game has so many features that it took a very long time for me to eventually get bored of this game, because a lot of games I get bored of within about 10 hours, but this one took me about 50-60 hours to eventually get bored of it, because there's so many features, like for example the online mode, which I've already talked about, the options to go scuba diving, buying properties, customising vehicles, and there's literally tons of others, otherwise I'd be here all day explaining them. Between you and me, the strip club's the best. So this means that whenever you've either completed the main storyline or you just don't feel like doing the main storyline, there's still tons to do. There's also side missions and things that are called Strangers and Freaks missions. And I thought personally these are a really interesting addition to the game, actually, because basically you, as you should know, Grand Theft Auto is a free roam game. You can go wherever you want, whenever you want. And every now and then you'll come across a random person which will come up on the minimap, and you can choose to help them or choose not to help them. And they all have different situations. For example, one person's been thrown out of his house by his wife on the game, and you can choose to escort him to the golf club. How would golf make you feel better? If you want to, but you can easily leave it. But if you complete these side missions, you get rewards, usually cash, which you can use for weapons, cars, strippers, and stuff like that. So I thought that's a good addition to the game. One negative point about this game is, unlike San Andreas, which was released back in 2004, this still has no cooperative or split screen mode. It has online, and the online is brilliant now that they've updated it quite a lot. But it's a bit there's a lot of games now where you can free roam with your mates, like at your house or something. But there's still only single player or online. There's no in between. So I thought that was a small point I'd like to make. Another thing is the fact that if you're a hardcore gamer, which I'm not, I'm more of a casual gamer. Filthy casual. But if you are, to gain 100% completion, you have to do lots of, quite frankly, menial tasks. For example, one of them's collecting 50 nuclear waste parts, which consists of hours and hours of being underwater in a small submarine, and it's just doing the same thing over and over again. But the thing is, I won't be too negative about it, because at the end of the day, the option to do these things in the game is it's optional, so you don't need to do them. If you don't like that part of the game, just don't do it. So I won't be too negative about it. So yeah, now for my conclusion. Well, this game is an excellent achievement, and although it didn't contain the levels of excitement, in my opinion, as when San Andreas was released, and even though some parts of the game are tedious, the majority of this game is very, very fun. The map is amazing, the story is very complex and well written, even if a lot of people personally don't like it, which a lot of people don't. I don't know why, but they don't. And also the action sequences are amazing, with all the power-ups and stuff as well. And I therefore recommend this game to anyone who hasn't already played it, or if you have, you should still play it. Therefore I give it a 9.5 out of 10. Yeah, that's it. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to share, subscribe, and like. If you have any ideas for games to review, or have further questions about this video, please comment below, as I will happily take your views into account. Well, thanks for watching, and see you later.